Greetings, YouTube. I'm a data junkie. Whether it's reading RPG books for entertainment or comic books occasionally, or reading nonfiction books all the time, or watching documentaries, or here on YouTube constantly getting news from different sources. Uh, I'm always poking around looking for news articles and things, so I have topics to talk about on my channel. But also, even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would still do that because I'm interested in the world around me. I want to be informed. So there was a news piece that dealt with religious-related topic, and they linked to an article. And so I followed the link to go look at the article. And the article was published on a web page called Crisis Magazine. And it is written for the Catholic laity, which means the lay people in the Catholic faith. So the folks that are not part of the actual, ecclesiastical structure, they're none of the, the monks and the priests and the nuns and the abbots and all that BS. No, these are just the everyday parishioners. The magazine is aimed at them, and it's called Crisis Magazine. As the title of this video describes, it's a persecution complex all the way down. Really, you need a magazine that shows the world that you feel that your particular religious narrative is under attack, that you are in crisis, even though Christians are the largest religious demographic in the nation at 70+%. And Catholics are pretty damn secure in their demographics. Well, they're getting smaller, I guess. They are closing more and more churches because more and more people are becoming disenfranchised with the organized crime that is the Roman Catholic Church. But the crisis is within your own church. It is not from external attacks. And that's what the Crisis magazine's talking about, how the world is out to get the Christians, specifically the Catholics. And I bet it doesn't address the fact that the Catholics are the people doing the most harm to the Catholics. Yeah, it's the hiding child abuse and hiding rape and hiding theft of monies of a person that lives in a palace, owns multiple palaces, talking to poor people and trying to convince them to donate money. That it's not an organization that tells gay people they're lesser or trans people they're lesser. Now, the folks that are putting out the Crisis magazine are the kind of Catholics that probably think that the Mass should still be said in Latin. Because, Latin is the best language for God. You'd kind of think that a being that is supposed to be all-powerful and all-knowing and all-present could probably speak any language, all languages, and doesn't need something said in a specific language to make them happy. But there are a lot of people, even in the world today, that feel that the Mass should be conducted in Latin because that was the language of the earlier versions of the Catholic holy books, even though all the way back, they were written in Greek. So why don't we do them in Greek? Why don't we say things in Aramaic? There are probably less than 1,000 people on the planet that speak Aramaic. I actually don't know how many there are. You could tell me if you want. But yeah, Aramaic is not a popular language, and yet it was the language of Christ. And then the books were written in Greek because Greek was the language of scholars. Greek was the lingua franca of the world at that time, if you'll pardon the pun. Then eventually they were translated into Latin, and then they were disseminated across the world in the Latin text. Then eventually somebody decided, we might get more people to listen to us if they understood what the hell we were saying. But a lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics, don't feel all that secure in their faith. They don't really feel that their faith is valid unless they're feeling persecuted. They need to feel like the underdog at a 70+% in America. That's that's not much of an underdog status. I don't know if you understand what a concept of underdog means. It usually means that you're in a minority or you have no power. And in America, Christians have lots of power and they are the majority. I realize that Catholics don't have as much power as they did once. Okay, demographics change. There are more people who are agnostic and atheist today than there used to be. There are more people practicing other kinds of religions. Pagans are doing pretty decent at the moment. I'm a pagan myself. Um, um, and the demographics for pagans has grown steadily over the years as the amount of Christians has gone down. Uh, so that just happens. It's the way of the world. Now you can accept it and you can try to be the best Christian, specifically the best Catholic you can be, showing love and concern for your neighbors and for your God, doing everything you can to make sure that poor people are taken care of and homeless people are taken care of, and that everyone has health care and food and education, and making sure that everyone is safe and that laws protect everyone equally. But funnily enough, a lot of Christians and a lot of Catholics don't do that. I wonder why. But what they do is come up with organizations like Crisis Magazine to show the world just how unbelievably insecure they are and how much of a persecution complex they want. It's like every single Catholic wants to have that cross on their shoulder so they can show the world just how damn pious they are. Well, newsflash, you're not carrying crosses. No one's persecuting you. No one's going to nail you to a cross. Technically, it was probably a T, but you get the point. No one's doing that to you. They've never done that to you. They're never going to do that to you. But you seem to need to act like they are, because that's what makes you happy. It's if it weren't so twisted, it would be sad. But it is twisted. It's twisting your worldview, and it's twisting how you treat other people, thinking that you are the oppressed minority when in actuality you are often the majority doing the oppressing. Telling women they shouldn't have rights, or telling gay people or trans people they shouldn't have rights. They shouldn't even be seen. Telling immigrants that they shouldn't be able to practice their own faith. Supporting wars against Islamic nations. Which, supporting war was something that I don't think Jesus was on board with. I realize I'm not Catholic, I'm not Christian, so maybe I got that wrong. Maybe I'm wrong that Jesus wanted you to love your God and love your neighbor. And to me, those are the only two commandments that matter. The rest are all technical legalities crap. We don't need it. Pointless legalism. You only need two. They're easy to remember. You don't even need a book for it. But a lot of Catholics want to feel persecuted. They've come up with a magazine called Crisis Magazine, which when I saw the title, I thought for a second I had just stepped through a looking glass and I was now living in a world written by David Lynch. But nope, it's the real thing. It's sad, but it's the real thing.